Have you ever noticed how as soon as someone says, I don't want to get political here, they immediately get political? Well, I'm going to tell y'all right here and now, I'm not going to get political here. And by that I mean, I'm literally not going to get political. Welcome to LunchBox Devotions. I'm Pastor Russ Yoke. Thanks for having lunch with me today. And when I say I'm not going to get political, I really mean that. I have no interest in appealing to or annoying or otherwise upsetting anyone on either side of whatever party line you might have. I consider myself to be a very practical and pragmatic person when it comes to that sort of thing. But I'm going to tell you right now that there's a phrase that people use, and they use it a lot, and I think that it is born of a deeply held misunderstanding, not only of national law, but of the notion of law in general. And the phrase that I hear, and this has to do with the abortion discussion and debate, and again, not trying to appeal to or annoy people on either side of this debate, but the phrase that I keep hearing is, you should not have the right to make laws that tell me what I can or cannot do with my body. I hear this one a lot, and here's the problem. It makes no logical sense. Our legal system is actually based entirely on the fact that we as a society have decided to communally sacrifice a degree of freedom to a corporate body that we call a country for the express purpose of limiting certain freedoms in order for the best of the public good. There are a lot of things I can't do with my body. I can't be drunk in public. I can't use illegal drugs. I can't end my own life, even if I really want to and I have a good reason for it. I cannot walk around naked in public. In fact, it might be easy to say that a vast majority of our nation's, and every other nation for that matter's, laws have to do directly with the notion that our countries tell us exactly what we can or cannot do with my body. I cannot even cross the street where it is most convenient for me to cross the street. I have to find a crosswalk to cross where the law says it is legal for me to cross. This is the nature of law. This is the nature of national law, but I want to talk to you also about the nature of divine law. God's law is more than just the Ten Commandments, but unquestionably, the Ten Commandments are at the heart and the center. And sometimes people talk about it having two tables or two tablets. It's not exactly two tablets. It's not like Moses came down from the mountain, no matter what you've seen in the movies, with one stone tablet on one side and one stone tablet on the other side. And one side had to do with laws that dealt with human interaction with God, and one side had to do with laws that dealt with human interactions with other humans. But it is a fair thing to say that the divine law, which is found in the Ten Commandments, does in fact say a whole lot about what we human beings can and cannot do with our bodies. And once you get to the fifth commandment, it is almost exclusively what you can or cannot do with your body. The first thing it says is, in the fifth commandment, you shall not kill. That's a really good law. We all agree that's a great law. You don't get to kill other people. You don't get to use your body to end someone else's life in their body. You will not commit adultery. Well, that one's pretty clearly something you cannot do with your body. You can't sleep around on people who aren't your spouse. You cannot steal. It doesn't matter how much you want that thing over there. You cannot use your body to go and take it. Why does God's law provide us with so many laws with regard to what you can or cannot do with your body? Why do our nations provide us with so many laws about what you can or cannot do with your body? Why can't I just cross the street wherever I want to? And a lot of this has to do with unintended consequences. It's not my intention to in any way, shape, or form endanger my life or the lives of anyone else driving on the road by crossing the road where I want to cross the road. It just is much more convenient for me. But the law of unintended consequences says that our behaviors have consequences, real life consequences, in the world that we live in. So whether I choose to do something that I think of as just strictly my decision, if I choose to cross where there's no crosswalk, I could get hit by a truck. I could cause a car to swerve out of its lane and strike another car. I could cause any number of people's deaths. Is that my intent? Well, no. It is an unintended consequence of my choice. And herein lies the fundamental depth and the most important part of the law. It is here to give us guidance so that our actions do not result in unintended consequences. You know, I didn't mean for that to happen is not a legal defense in court, and I did not mean for that to happen is not a legal defense when standing in front of the throne of God. God gives us laws in order that we might avoid the unintended consequences by limiting the things that we can or cannot do. And much like our national law that says that you can't cross the street where there's no crosswalk, it's called jaywalking. If you cross the street in the wrong place, you can cause unintended consequences to yourself and to other people. When God gives us laws like, thou shalt not commit adultery, you may have no intention in harming your spouse whatsoever. You just want to have some fun. The unintended consequences, though, are nonetheless real. The same for murder, the same for theft, the same for lying. It's the same for all of God's law. God knows we human beings sometimes we want to say, hey, why can't I just do what I want to do? And God says to us, because I'm trying to protect you from the unintended consequences of your actions, because that's what a parent does. I mean, God's not some enormous killjoy standing up in heaven saying, how can I make their lives less enjoyable today? No, he is a kind and loving parent who looks down at us, foolish beings that we are here in this world, and says, if I don't give them some direction, they're going to choose behaviors and actions that will have unintended consequences that will bring death and destruction and misery and sorrow. So next time you hear somebody say, well, you can't tell me what I can or cannot do with my body, guess what? That's the entire foundation of civilization. The question is whether or not we're making the right choices, whether or not we're passing the right laws, and whether or not we are looking to God for wisdom, intelligence, hope, direction, and truth in order that we might avoid the unintended consequences of our human failing. Well, thank you for having lunch with me. I'm Pastor Russ Yoke. God bless, and see you later. Pastor Russ Yoke here. Thank you for spending some time with us today. If you'd like to subscribe, click on my face here on the upper right-hand corner. And if you'd like to see some more videos, click on the box here on the left-hand side. If you want to support the ministry we do here at First Lutheran, there are links in the comment section below. Thank you and God bless.